Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we discuss all things financial literacy. And today I'm going to be giving you 9 banks that will approve a brand new LLC for $50,000 in business funding without any proof of income. And this will be an update to last year's video with some new banks added and some old ones being taken out. Now, in total, I have access to around $452,700 in business credit between all 9 of these banks. And that breaks down to roughly $50,300 per bank. And the best part is I was able to do this with a brand new LLC. All of these accounts required no tax returns, no profit and loss statements, and no W-2s. So if you're new to my channel, please do me a favor and drop a comment below and introduce yourself. I try my best to respond to everyone who leaves a comment because I want you to know that you're not just a viewer here, you're actually part of a community of like-minded individuals who are trying to achieve the exact same goal. Every credit card and bank that I'm going to discuss today, I've personally been approved for. You can go back throughout all my video catalogs and find each and every video when I was approved, as well as data points. So just know anything that we're going to discuss, I've already done it, or maybe I'm currently in the process of doing it in real time. I repaired my own credit and documented the entire process. And for anyone who wants to replicate exactly what I did, please check out my credit repair playlist. You're going to find 2 links down in the description. One's going to be a playlist for credit repair, and the other one is going to be a business credit playlist to address all the banks that we're going to look over today. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the video. From January 2024 to now May of 2026, I have the Sam's Club business card with a $25,000 limit, the Wells Fargo business credit card with a $5,000 limit, the GM Marcus card with an $8,000 limit that is currently with Barclays now. I have the Amex business cash card with $10,000, the Amex Amazon biz card with $12,000, which will be going over to US Bank soon. I also have the Amex Platinum Charge card with a $100,000 pay over time limit. I also have the Amex Plum Charge card with a $100,000 pay over time limit, the Chase Ink Cash card for $10,000, the Chase Ink Unlimited card for $10,000, and the Chase Ink Premier card with $10,000. I have the Navy Federal Go Biz Rewards card of $25,000, the US Bank Shield card of $8,000, an Associated Bank card of $8,000, the Wyndham Biz card of $1,700, a First Citizens business credit card of $10,000, an Amex Business Delta card of $10,000, and I also have 2 Amex Gold Charge cards, each with a pay over time limit of $50,000. Now, the total amount of revolving credit that I have on just these cards, it's actually more than this, but for this video, I wanted to make sure that I use the exact same amount of limit that would get $50,000 per bank, because that's what I did last year. It's actually a lot more than this, but for the purpose of this video, let's say that it's $152,700 in total revolving limit, and when we include the pay over time limit, we're looking at $452,700. If you divide that by 9, then you get the average of $50,300. Now, again, it is more than this because I do have more credit cards than this, but for the purpose of this video, this is what we're going to be discussing today. Now, the reason I want to focus on these is because a majority of these approvals I was able to accomplish in honestly 8 months, not including the time that it took for me to repair my credit. Once again, you can go back in all of my previous videos. I had access to similar limits about a year ago. And since then, I've gotten credit line increases. I added a few more credit cards, but for the most part, all of what you see here was done in around 8 months. And in that same time frame, if we go back to when I originally started, I had a $200 secured card with Navy Federal, and that was in January of 2024. That card did graduate to a $2,000 limit, and I got my deposit back. Now, the reason why I was able to do that is because I worked on my credit for a total of 17 months prior to doing this. Like a lot of people during COVID time, I was leveraging credit the wrong way. I was over leveraged and I ruined my personal credit. That left me with a lot of debt, and I didn't do anything with personal credit for a year. And then that took me 17 months to completely clean up everything. So in total, it took me 29 months to complete this entire process. So when I tell people that I've been through it and I've done it, I've really done it. And once again, all of this is documented on this channel. So most of you have watched this play out in real time if you've been a long time subscriber of this channel since its inception. And you can watch these videos back and you can play it out as many times as you want, but I did it, so I do think that I can speak on this. And you guys have probably noticed more of my content has been around building a profitable cash flowing business and the mindset that it takes to create real wealth. And I've been doing this because based on some of the comments that I've been getting, I can tell some of my younger audience, they're easily frustrated because things don't work as quickly as they would like. So I just want to set the expectation that even if you have bad credit, that is no excuse for you not being able to succeed. That's no excuse for not making money. For me personally, no matter what my situation is, whether I have bad credit or good credit, I will always find a way to be successful. And I attribute that success to information, determination, and consistency. And the more that I learn about making money, the less I've actually had to lean on credit in order to do it. Credit will extend your reach, but it's something that I don't really rely on anymore. So just know that I have plenty of videos that show you how to make money without using credit, and everything is out there for free. So if you want to learn about how to get approved for any of these credit cards that you see here, once again, you can check out my business credit playlist. There will be a video attached to each and every one of these cards. But the next thing that we're going to discuss is exactly what type of credit profile that it takes for you to get these approvals. Now, we're going to discuss something that gets overlooked far too often in terms of business credit and the structure of your business. Believe it or not, if your business is not set up the right way from day one, you could be denied for credit even if your personal credit score is flawless. Now, I know a lot of people out there like to downplay this step. There are people who tell you that as long as your personal credit is strong, you will be approved. I've seen it, I've heard it, but here's what I know to be certain: that is not true. When we talk about business structuring, we're not just talking about filing an LLC or corporation with your state. That's just the starting point. Structuring your business means building an entire identity around your company. Your business needs to feel, look, and operate as if it's its own person. Think of it like this: you're not just building a business, you're building a persona that banks, lenders, credit bureaus, and search engines can recognize and they can trust. That means your business needs an Experian business credit profile. It should also have an Equifax business credit profile. You should work to establish a Paydex score by doing business with vendors that report to Dun & Bradstreet. But that's just the business credit side. Your business also needs a legitimate online presence, and that means having a website with your domain name, not a free site, but something official. You need to have a business phone number. You need to have a business address, preferably not your home. It needs to be listed in the 411 directory so that it can be verified by creditors when they run checks, as well as a professional business email. All of this matters because it makes your business easy to find. If a lender types in your business name into Google, they should be able to find your website, your contact information, and some sort of digital footprint without any issue. And if they pull your credit file from Dun & Bradstreet or Experian Business, there should be something there to actually see. And this is what I mean by structuring your business. I can tell you from direct experience that structuring your business can make or break your chances of getting approved. I've worked with people both through business coaching and through this channel who have had great personal credit, apply for a business credit card, and they were denied. And why? Because their business could not be found. You could take the GM business card from Marcus. That card is now backed by Barclays. However, in the past, it was with Goldman Sachs. Several people that I talked to applied for it and they were denied. And not because of bad credit, but because they could not verify that their business even existed. And the rejection reason literally said this business could not be located. Now, when I applied for the GM Marcus card, I had a brand new business and I still got approved. And why? Because from day one, I had everything already in place. I had the website, I had a phone number, I had net 30s reporting to the business credit bureaus, I had the right address, and the moment I formed my LLC, I built this out and everything was structured properly. So my business didn't just exist on paper, it existed in the real world, in search engines, in credit databases, and verification tools that lenders were using. And that was the difference. US Bank, that's another institution that takes business structuring seriously. If they can't verify your business, they will deny you regardless of how perfect your personal credit may be. And I've seen this firsthand. Now you might say to yourself, well, Steven, not all banks require that. And you would be correct. There are some credit cards like American Express business credit cards, Chase Inc. credit cards, and even products from Wells Fargo that don't weigh business structuring as heavily in some decision-making processes. But those are the exception and not the rule. Even if you sneak by without structuring now, you will eventually hit a wall. Because if you want real funding, when you want to set up business lines of credit or term loans or SBA loans that offer six-figure capital, you will need to have more than just good personal credit. You will need a business that looks fundable. So let's keep this very simple. A structured business plus good personal credit will equal business funding. That is the formula and there's no way around it. Now, if you want to learn how to structure your business, I have two videos that you should watch. One is about how to actually start a business with no money. The other is actually how to build business credit in 30 days. If you watch both of those videos, I go over all of this in great detail. Now, before we go any further into personal guarantees, I want to clear something up. People ask me this all the time. Steven, is there any way to get business credit cards without using my personal credit? And I'll tell you the same thing every time. There really isn't many good options that you can get without a personal guarantee anymore. And I know a lot of people hate hearing that part. The moment they hear personal guarantee, they just roll their eyes and they check out. And I know those people aren't upset with me for talking about personal guarantees. They're just frustrated by the fact that it's a requirement. I get that. I really do. But I want to give you more perspective because when someone clarifies information, at least for me, it helps me understand why something is happening and it does make it easier for me to deal with it. So let's take a step back because I want you to understand why lenders are asking for this in the first place. The primary reason banks require a personal guarantee is simple. They want to reduce the risk of a default. If your company goes under and can't repay a credit balance or a loan, the personal guarantee gives the lender a backup plan. It gives them someone they can legally hold responsible. So let's say you walk into a bank and ask for $100,000 for your brand new business. You have no revenue yet. You have filed no taxes. You have no profit and loss statement. You have nothing to prove you're able to repay. What exactly are they supposed to base that decision on? That's where the personal guarantee comes in. You're essentially saying, if my business can't pay, then I will. It's a form of collateral, and it shows that lender, you're not just asking for money, but you're standing behind this. And for some of us, you're thinking, well, I can't give a personal guarantee because my credit is bad. And to that I say, then you need to fix your credit. I know that sounds overly simple, but it's the truth, and that's what I had to do myself. In the meantime, there are other ways that you can start building. Get your business structured, and while you're doing that, put in the work to rebuild your personal credit. If you're having issues, I recommend going to rising.com. Rising helps you build or rebuild your credit by giving you access to credit reports and scores, and they also show what's hurting your credit. They can also help you create custom dispute letters and track the progress of your disputes. You can also report rent and utility payments to the bureaus. That's important because rebuilding your credit is not just about removing bad items, it's also about adding positive history and following a real plan. And this platform helps you do both all in one place. You can start a trial today for $1. There's also a link in the description. Now, I myself have provided templates, methods, dispute strategies, and again, it took me almost 3 years to come up with this process and 17 months to fix my credit and another 8 months to build business credit. But I've given everything I learned on this channel completely for free that you can use at your disposal. And again, I know it's hard. You don't have to tell me, but that is the reason why I'm giving you every single resource and tool that I possibly can for you to be successful. Now, back to the personal guarantee. There is a difference between having the ability to pay and the willingness to pay. And we're going to address this because contrary to popular belief, there is an advantage to having a personal guarantee that is heavily overlooked. So here's the advantage of a personal guarantee: no doc business funding. No doc business funding is designed for entrepreneurs who don't have extensive financial documents that lenders normally require. So when you agree to a personal guarantee, you open the doors to no stated income and no documentation approvals, and that is huge. Just think about that. Most new business owners don't have tax returns. They don't have a profit and loss statement. They don't have business assets or payroll history. In the beginning, you're just getting started. But if you're willing to personally guarantee, you can project income and get approved based off of stated income that you've made. That is the real advantage of a personal guarantee. You get access to capital when you don't have financial documentation to back it up yet. It's a bridge that allows you to get funding while you grow into the kind of business owner that can one day qualify for loans. Because the truth is, banks only care about two things. Number one, can you pay me back? Do you have the ability to pay me back based on the income that you stated? Also, number two, will you pay me back? Your willingness to pay back is based on your credit report. So if you state that you have the income to pay me and your credit report shows that you have years of a great track record, your credit report will tell a story. That's why even if you state that you make $200,000 a year, if you're not willing to pay people back, your willingness to pay will always be more important than your ability to pay. And I hope that makes a lot of sense. So even if your income is, let's say, low, a great credit report can still get you approved. But the opposite is not true. A great income won't save you from a terrible credit report. Your willingness to repay always outweighs your ability to repay. And this is exactly why I focus so heavily on mindset for this channel. Because yes, I can show you how to fix your credit. Yes, I can show you how to structure your business. And yes, I can show you how to get approved for multiple banks. And I try to show you this in the easiest way possible. But when things come easy, people don't respect it. If your mind is still the same, if your habits haven't changed, then none of this will matter. And that's why I would never offer credit repair services, because people don't understand how hard it is to fix even one credit report, let alone 20 or 100. It's not as simple as just clicking a button and filling out a form. So again, what I do is give you the easiest methods that I've used myself. I give you tools, I give you the steps, I give you templates, I give you information, I provide resources, but I give them to you for you to use yourself. Because in the process of repairing your own credit or structuring your own business, it will force you to develop better habits. People respect what they earn. You pay more attention, you learn how the system works, and that knowledge will protect you moving forward. If someone just hands you a perfect credit report, you'll ruin it again within a year. But if you had to fight for every dispute, if you had to study and apply and fail and try again, you're going to treat your finances a lot differently going forward. And that is the real value. Now let's bring this full circle. Because we're able to use a personal guarantee, business credit cards are by far the easiest funding products to get. You don't need tax returns, you don't need profit and loss statements, you don't need bank statements. All you need is stated income and a solid personal credit profile. And while credit cards do come with higher interest rates than loans, many of them offer 0% APR introductory periods. And that gives you breathing room to use the funding strategically before any interest actually kicks in. And this won't be the end of your journey, because yes, stated income and no doc funding is amazing. It's a great tool, especially when you're just getting started. But for me, this is my second year in business. I filed tax returns. I now have 2 years worth of business documentation. There are now business lines of credit and other products that I can finally qualify for, and I will be showing you how to do so on this channel. Once you become a business owner with documentation, financial records, and structure, you can access even more capital. To wrap this up, I want to leave you with the exact data points that made the difference on my business credit journey. You want to have a credit score of at least 680, but if you're closer to, let's say, 750 or above, your chances go way up for approvals. I have an entire video about how to structure your credit business profile. I'm going to link that right here. You definitely want to check something like that out. You also want your number of hard inquiries to be under 2. The fewer, the better. I also have videos on how to remove hard inquiries. As some of you may know, you can remove the hard inquiries for business credit cards that you are approved for. I also recommend that you have at least 1 year to 6 months of average credit history. Now, 2 years I would say is ideal, but it's okay if you have less than 2 years. I've done it myself. However, if you were denied because of a short credit history, it's okay. It's no big deal. Just wait a few months and let your history mature and then try again. You'll also want to have a good good credit mix, and that means having at least 2 revolving accounts like credit cards, and I would say 2 to 4 installment loans. Now, this is where credit builder accounts can come in handy, and people have mixed opinions on them, but in my opinion, they work perfectly fine. These are all just tools. And once again, if you use Rising, you can do things like rent reporting and utility reporting to back report 24 months of history. That in itself can help with your average age. That can also help with payment history, which is the largest portion of your FICO credit score. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Now, this is how I went from that $200 secured credit card in the beginning to, if we're honest, well over $500,000 in combined business credit. And you can watch my updated videos of how I structured my business and fixed credit and things like that. Once again, I have many videos that you can check out. They're all in the playlist in the description below. And in the grand scheme of things, it took me 17 months to repair my credit, that other 8 months to build my business credit. In total, that's just under 2.5 years. And honestly, I would do it again in a heartbeat because it gave me a lot of freedom and control over my financial life. So hopefully you see that this is not just about credit cards. It's not about stacking limits. This is about building something real, something I would say that's sustainable, and something potentially that can be generational depending on what you do with it. So if you're just starting out, don't be discouraged. I started in the same place. Honestly, I probably was in a worse position than a lot of other people. I had so many charge-offs, but now I have access to funding that I never thought possible. And I have many different options to create income and like multiple ways that I can really choose of how I want to do things. So as always, I want to thank you guys for watching. Now, if this helped you, please let me know in the comments. If you haven't already subscribed, then please do so. I've got way more content coming. I have a huge back catalog of videos. I mean, if you have questions about anything, I pretty much touched on almost every topic, I think, when it comes to at least the basics for business funding and setting up your business and some operational things as well. So when you get some free time, just take a look and just look at the catalog and see if there's anything that might catch your eye. I'm usually in the comments, so if you have any questions or concerns, I'll try to answer that for you. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and you have a wonderful day.